Hey, everybody. Okay, so those of you who are my students went out of your way and you knew it was my birthday and you bought me Go lessons. Very thoughtful gift. You know I love sitting down with a pro and asking a bunch of questions. So this video will be part one in things I learned at my lesson. What I did in the lesson is I took my first board position, which is you're seeing in front of you, and asked however many questions I had on that game. And as I asked, the teacher started sharing his ideas, and I picked his brain and so forth. So I'm going to share with you things he said, things I learned, changes. My big goal is how do I change the way I'm thinking about how to handle things on the Go board. So as I'm repeating this information back to you, it might come across as a bit disjointed or not thought through well. And indeed, that's the case. It's new information for me, and you'll get it kind of raw, as it were. Okay, so let's start out. And we're going forward. Okay. Here, I'm thinking that this is fine. Unfinished corner, big area, and indeed it is fine. But this is a little more whole board balanced. They're fine. Here, I didn't know this Joseki. I've seen this played a number of ways, and I've never felt satisfied. Now, I did see a professional play it this way recently, and I thought, really? That seems awfully slow, flat. Yeah, it works. Yep, it does the job, and that's fine, but it doesn't excite me. It doesn't make me feel like I've done something positive and I'm playing Go. So I asked him about the Joseki, and he says, well, first play the regular one. This is the regular shape move, but I thought, well, I can't play that because of the Atari. So now if I fix, I got this really stupid shape, and he has even more of the corner. So he says, yeah, we'll come up. Black will capture. You say Atari, he can't let you break through, so he's going to save. And you finish up with A or B. We'll just look at it at A because it reaches into the center. And the result, black got a bigger corner, but white got a bigger influence future. And he says, you know, not a lot of strong players are going to play this move because they want to hurry up and play the game, meaning get into where the future of the game is going to be, right? So they're going to be playing this way, you know, just as one possibility. Look what black's doing. That's pretty exciting. Way more exciting than that corner that was there. So it's playable, but not popular. So again, regular shape and come up and the Atari, and then any sort of fix that works for you. Okay, onward. I'll do this a lot. I'll go, well, I've seen a strong player play this way. Let me try it out. But it just left me feeling flat. So, and rightfully so. I don't want to be flattened here, right? That's a pretty bad situation on my right. So I got up to the fourth line. I may have shown this game in part, I don't recall, but this is from a new perspective, things I asked him. Okay, so here's my first real question on this board. I mean, Giuseppe, yeah, that's a question, but here, and this to me was a big deal. Check it out. I played here. Let's look at the positives. I get the corner. Ooh, I like that. Next, D's. Easy. Easy invasion on the left at D. I like that. Any black B move. Gote. And white A, white E has some potential for growth as we bother black. So I'm seeing all these positives. Therefore, C must be good. Now, I should have known better because all the time I have students come and go, well, here's my move. Look at all the positive it's doing. I'm like, well, that's all true. Hey, that brings it up to a 70% move. That's a lot of good positives. But there's 100% move. So here I fell for it. Oh, look at all these good things I'm doing. Rather than the obvious. What's next? This next corner. That's what's next. Duh. We're in the opening. That's the next opening move. So I let my special thinking take place from my strategical thinking, right? I tried to do something fancy rather than obvious. Okay. Next question, A or B. And we actually didn't discuss A much. He kind of assumed, well, of course we're going to play here since it's Sente. And I had not considered finishing this shape with B. There's some wonderful reasons why B. So let's start out with my move. I'm thinking, oh, look at my A group. I'm reaching out to the center. Here we go again with the positive things it's doing. Reaching out to the center, getting extra points, and now B is real Sente and grows it even more. And he says, well, there certainly is truth to that, but you made black C position so strong that white D is becoming a problem. Instead, if we finish it here, corner still mine. Now, some of you don't know that. Let's take a quick look. If black comes in, there's a cut here. And right now, it's not a problem, so he fixes first. Now I need to fix, and he lives. And it's like, yeah, so we need to fix that. So there's a cut, and B fixes the cut. And we'll just look at it real quickly so we can all see it. Now there's no cut there, so I can just go about killing the group. The black, white, black, and the group still dies. Okay, so this B saves the cut. And this is still the same meaning, same size, virtually the same size as the other one. But now, look how weak he is over here. Not that I would put the white stone here to start the attack, but we can see how open and weak black is here. Okay. So I'm helping my opponent. Don't help your opponent. He plays here to stop that. Then I come in. Okay. So let's look at this. If I come out, regular idea. White's going to be okay because if black defends A, I pounce on B, which gives me health. If he defends B, I pounce on A, which gives me health. So I'm healthy because I have Miai. But if we add a black stone here, for instance, and then pinch, if I come out, I don't have Miai. So we now have a problem. So this Joseki is based on black is not too prepared on top or the left. Okay, back to our board position. Boom, 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 get on up there. Okay, so if I come out, he's prepared on the left. This is difficult. Okay. Well, what about the living idea? How about we just live? Let me make sure I did that right. White, black, white, black, white. And now black's move. Whatever black does, life is not that easy for white because black is so strong on the left. So just even life has become difficult. Usually we don't particularly like living in a small corner. Not that it's terrible in this case, but it's going to be difficult. So what about here? I've been playing this move a lot because my favorite YouTube guy, Dr. Beduk, he says, oh, it's always good. Well, or rather, AI says it's always good, and he agrees. And of course, neither one of them mean always. And so how do you know? Well, if white can fight, great. But black's too prepared on the left. So if black just pushes and cuts, it's very hard for white. White living on the left, there's just no counterplay for white anywhere. Okay. So what do we do instead? B. Now white can still live in the corner. And then black can go away or play this, which might be Sente, and we continue from there. And he thought, well, since you made black so strong on the left, this might be your only option. Okay. I went this way and black submitted. Well, now he can't cut me. And I'm thick to the center. Everything's better. As we explored this variation, a few things came up. One is he says, well, this is better. Now, if white keeps coming up, black's top is reasonable. And says, so instead, just settle this way. I've always had trouble with this kind of move. You know, it's like there's something of a weakness there. We're playing center and yeah, but he says, yeah, just settle. Okay. Boom, 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 boom. Turn. Turn's big. Right. Black's concerned here about the invasion, getting two weak groups in an area where white can grow. So this is understandable. I turn. Black goes for the corner. And here, I've been told, oh, always play A. But it's always bothered me because there's a cut there. So I tend to get stuck on what I'm supposed to do. No, I'm sorry, I don't get stuck there. It comes up from time to time. Like, oh, I'm supposed to play here. So I stop thinking because I know where I'm supposed to play. That's almost doesn't exist where you're supposed to play. No, you're supposed to think about it. That's what you're supposed to do. Well, I did think about it. So I went here. because I didn't want to get cut. But that's what I wanted to check with. He says, yeah, anytime you play A, you have to think about black's counterplay because he can cut you. So like, okay, so it's that obvious. I was, and the readout he saw that, he's thinking of is how the two boards, the two groups can live independently. So you can live independently. So in this case, it works for you. Black's cut is not meaningful. And your top group is so thick, it's going to handle itself, no problem. Just a variation he showed that I want to go with. Okay. So we are back here. Boom, boom. Okay. Here's another big one. A fundamental way I think wrong. I tend to lean on general principles rather than specific situations. That has to do with me being lazy and not wanting to think. That's the kind of person I am. So I'm playing A, thinking of, oh, now my group has this wonderful base, when actually that's not a base at all, right? Zero base. And once he mentioned that, I'm like, oh, that's kind of obvious, isn't it? But see, I was leaning without thinking. Next, I'm thinking, oh gosh, this is so big in endgame. And he's going, well, if you just play this way, black play here. He's not defending, he's not attacking, it's just endgame. Play endgame at endgame. Okay, again, more clarity. Next, we'll get to that in a moment. Okay, white. So I did play here. Black plays away. Now I'm eager to bother him in the upper left. So I got Sente and started up here to there. Now we're going to get there in a minute. Okay. Something I wasn't thinking of here. If I play this, see how that white group is kind of tiny and we even wonder if it's alive? I mean, black can even play here and the stone's alive. I can connect one way or the other. I'm just saying it's a weak white situation. Therefore, I should finish here, which I didn't because I'm so eager to get to the upper left and the top. So that was impatience. See, as all these things come up. I'm impatient. Oh, that changed my move. My ego comes into play. Oh, he can't do that to me. And then that puts me in the wrong direction. My assumptions, wrong direction. False premise. All these ways of going wrong. So the idea of playing a calm game where you consider your moves. Very hard. Okay. So A and B are both important in the situation. But if I play B, black wants to play here because there's two cuts. And he can use that. And of course, he's building his own little area there. So black wants to play here. Okay. Now, let's play this first. There's not two cuts anymore. Right? There's only one cut. Let's go ahead and do it. There's only one. Because that's just dead. In a bunch of ways, it's just dead. So, if I play here first, he's not going to come up. He's going to come down. Because he doesn't need to do the double cut thing, because I don't have a double cut. He'll come down more in-game, more threading the corner, things of this nature. So the timing, the order of moves is important. First this one, then that one. And whether it's going to be here or any finishing move, we corner first. Okay. We did that. I played here. Then I rush on top. And now my big question in the upper left. Now here, it's a little embarrassing. First, let's look at the game. I turn. I keep coming. I save. Now, I did all this because of the special quality of the first line of A. A is so wonderful because it gives me this move. A very deep invasion that cannot be cut, right? Black, white. I'm not cut. So that's my thinking. Now, the embarrassing part is I knew it didn't work. But I'm like, oh, but it's going to work. It's going to work. So I started playing against the player knowing he's going to fall for a trick rather than finding the best move. That's not exactly what's embarrassing. The embarrassing part is I knew I was doing it. I knew I shouldn't do it, but I couldn't stop myself. Kind of like I was cheating, bad characters coming through. So he can just play here. And I'm like, yeah, but isn't this, big? He says, no, just in-game stuff, not special. Like, absolutely. Says, and besides, you don't need it. You can just invade. I'm like, well, if I hadn't been so caught up in cheating, I would have seen this in a moment because a whole bunch of white stones right next to a black gap. Of course, there's an invasion there. Okay. So I go this way. I asked him, well, is C simply bigger because that's Sente? He says, well, given this scenario, yeah, just take some points. You don't have to do anything here, but you can take some points before you go away. But again, that's in-game. Just soon wait for in-game. He also said that if you simply start here, well, of course, now that's going to give you the big move, and he's not going to want that, so we'll stop you. Then you can come and do a bigger corner. But then again, we're just back where it's endgame. So again, just endgame. Okay. We went this way, and I come in. He plays here. And he misplays this, right? He tries to save everything, which he just can't do. And I had no further questions on this board. White wins easily. Okay. So that's everything on this first board I showed him, which in real time took not particularly long, much less time than repeating it back here. But in my opinion, for me, well worth the time. And so I had a video of this, and so I'm reviewing it, and I just finished reviewing my first board and second board. And I thought, I want to make a video of this right off so that it'll be fresh and I won't start making little excuses for myself or anything. So I want to do it right away. Okay, I think that's it. And we'll see you in the second one. And I'm going to go through all of them, which is, I think, like a dozen or something, however many it is. Okay, see you later. Bye.